Alrighty, let's head over and do our NFL team refresher, folks. We've done a couple of teams already. Let's quickly remind y'all. We're doing a working list, just kind of putting them in order on when we do them. So out of the first 7 teams so far, Lions going 2-15, max 5 wins. Saints going 6-11. Broncos going 10-7, or we can see 11-6. Falcons going 11-6. Washington going 9-7. Their ceiling is 13-4. They do have a high ceiling. Titans going 11-6, and the Raiders going 10-7. So we spin the wheel, do a random team, talk them through what they did last season, what they did in this offseason, who do they draft, who do they get, who do they lose, and then we talk about their schedule and see how many wins we can give them. So let's get the wheel up here, spin the wheel, and let's see what team we're talking about today. So here we go. All right, and that was a bad spin. Oh my God, I'm not spinning it good. Here we go. Wheel is spun, wheel is spinning, wheel is slowing down, and the team in our refresher today is going to be, the New England Patriots, folks. Alrighty. Well, to start with the Patriots, we do have a little bit of a quarterback competition underway, folks. Cam Newton or Mac Jones. Cam Newton, obviously been in this league a long time, or Mac Jones, the newly acquired rookie. All right, so let's investigate who their starting quarterback is probably going to be, or who do we like, who do we don't like, what do we like, what do we don't like. So let's quickly go over Cam Newton, because we are not the biggest fans of this man. We were rooting for this man last season, folks. We were big behind this man, rejuvenating your career, revitalizing your career here in New England, but he never took advantage of it, and it was truly not great. So last year, the Patriots go 7-8 with Cam Newton at the helm. Cam Newton, he had 65% completion percentage, which is real good, real solid. His second highest completion percentage of his career, which we can always get behind. But it only came with 2,600 passing yards. We know he's a little bit of a better dual threat quarterback. And, I say this, I just said this the other day and I liked it, so I'm going to say it again here. Everybody disrespecting Lamar Jackson, saying, oh, he's a running back, he's not a quarterback. Cam Newton is not a quarterback. That man's a running back. The man only threw for 4,000 yards once in his career, folks, and it was for 4,051 yards, so it's not even that impressive. So Cam Newton's not a quarterback. You want to call any quarterback a running back, call Cam Newton a running back, because this man is truly not that great. His overall completion percentage is 60%, folks. He's thrown 50% in the 50s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times out of his 10-year career. So this man is nothing that great of a passer out there. Last season only threw for 8 passing touchdowns and 10 interceptions, folks. Let's talk about his rushing yards, because it makes it a little bit better, but overall it's like at the end of the day, it proves that you can't just be a running quarterback in this league. It's been proven you don't win like that. You do need a solid passing game, and I don't think Cam Newton has that left in him, unfortunately. So Cam Newton rushing last season, 592 yards. He did have 12 rushing touchdowns. But overall, we're talking about like 3,000 yards of production. How many fumbles did he have? He had 6 fumbles as well. So about 16 turnovers. Once again, unfortunate with 22 touchdowns in total. It's like, what do we do? We can't truly get behind this man, folks. I'm not getting behind Cam Newton again. I don't think he's got the goods. Now you could say, well, it was his first year with the Patriots and they had no weapons. They truly didn't have any weapons, but still at the end of the day, we can't use that as the end-all be-all excuse. You still need to go out there and get it done, even if you don't have everything kind of going great with you. Because we know what this Patriots team is all about. It's all about scheme, and they, are not going to tailor to your kind of needs or standards. They're not, they didn't do it with Tom Brady. They didn't do it with anybody, so they're not going to do it with Cam Newton. They just need Cam Newton to get it done. So not the greatest here by Cam Newton. Now, when we go to kind of Mac Jones, we don't like Mac Jones either, because obviously he's a rookie. We're not going to get big on that rookie so far, and we can go up to his career stats. He only started 1 year in college, folks, and that Alabama roster was absolutely loaded. Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris, and Devonte Smith, all 3 great wide receivers and just kind of overall offensive legends. They're literally legends in Alabama already, folks. So Mac Jones getting his kind of first start in 2020, he threw for 77% completion percentage, which is great, 4,500 yards, which is great, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I mean, folks, all these stats are great, don't get me wrong, but they were in college in an absolutely offensive stacked system at Alabama. So I don't know how much actually Mac Jones was being good or just kind of all that talent making him look good, because when we watched this man in our draft preview of Mac Jones, when we did that, we weren't really impressed with him. We ranked Mac Jones on our big board the 4th best quarterback in the draft. We did have Trey Lance under Mac Jones just because we didn't like that Trey Lance was in the FCS. It wasn't really anything that great. Yeah, not the biggest believer in Mac Jones, and we'll see if he can kind of potentially beat out Cam Newton. It does seem like we heard Bill Belichick say that Cam is the starter, but we have been hearing some good things about Mac Jones in training camp. A little bit of good things. But the fact that it's even a discussion proves that Cam Newton is truly not going out there and winning the starting job by himself, because he's not even taking advantage of year 2 under the same system. It doesn't seem like he's growing that much. So I think Cam Newton's going to be the starting quarterback here for the Patriots this year, but I don't believe and I can't buy into Cam Newton again. So, I'm not big into Cam Newton, folks. Now let's go to their overall depth chart. See what they're working with, because now we're talking about Cam Newton's weapons last year weren't anything great. I can say that, and that could be a reason why Cam Newton wasn't getting it done last year. But what they brought in this season, I mean, it's still tier 2 pieces all across the board at the wide receiver and tight end position. So Cam Newton, who's not a tier 1 quarterback himself, he's a tier 2-ish. I'm borderline putting this man tier 3. I know that's disrespectful, but I'm very close to putting him tier 3. If he flounders this season, I'm going to mark him to tier 3 quarterback. But he's a tier 2 quarterback working with tier 2 weapons. I don't expect tier 2 quarterbacks to elevate tier 2 pieces. I don't see that happening. So let's bring up the Patriots depth chart. Remind all of us about the additions that they brought in this year. They got Nelson Aguilar. Once again, this is a tier 2 piece. He caught for 1,000 yards, 896 last year, 8 touchdowns. Tier 2, though, we got Jacoby Myers. Once again, a tier 2 wide receiver here. What did he have last season? 729 yards. And then Kendrick Bourne. Once again, tier 2, 600 yards last season, 2 touchdowns. At the tight end position, Hunter Henry. Once again, tier 2 tight end, 613 yards. That's real solid. Maybe he could become a tier 1. Jonnu Smith, tier 2. I don't even think he caught 448 yards, 8 touchdowns. So once again, solid pieces. Don't get us wrong. And, being tier 2 is still fine. It's not a big dig if I call you tier 2, but you're not the tier 1. You're not a Devonte Adams. You're not a DeAndre Hopkins. You're not a Tyreek Hill. You're not a Darren Waller at the tight end position. You're not a Travis Kelce at the tight end position. You're not the George Kittle. So you're not the tier 1s. Tier 2, still good. Top tier 2, mid tier 2. I call Nelson Aguilar mid tier 2. Jacoby Myers mid to low tier 2. Kendrick Bourne mid tier 2. Hunter Henry high tier 2. Jonnu Smith mid tier 2. So nothing great weapons-wise that Cam Newton can rely on. He has to go out and play higher. Cam Newton has to play higher than himself to elevate these tier 2 pieces. And I don't really see that happening. Running game. What do we got here? Damian Harris as their starting running back? I mean, nothing great. 691 yards last season, nothing that we can truly get behind. We got Sony Michel, who's once again tier 2. These are all tier 2 pieces on this roster, folks. Really, they don't have one tier 1 player here. Not one tier 1 player on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball, they got Stephon Gilmore, Devin McCourty. I'll give them tier 1. Kyle Van Noy at the linebacker position. I wouldn't be opposed to giving him tier 1 status either. Like I said, apologies. The nose is itching, folks. If you're watching this, I'm just constantly itching my nose, and I truly apologize on that. But overall, I just can't get behind Cam Newton and just this overall lackluster offense. I don't even know, would Tom Brady make this offense work? Probably, because it's Tom Brady, but shoot, man. The fact that I'm not 100% convinced that Tom Brady can make this offense work, I'm not convinced that Cam Newton can make this team work, folks. So I'm not big on Cam Newton. let's see what else we get here with this Patriots team in the offseason, their additions, their losses, and their draft picks. Let's go over that. Here we go. New England Patriots. What do they do in the offseason? Here we go. All right, so they re-signed Cam Newton. They re-signed their center, David Andrews. They re-signed their defensive lineman, Dietrich Wise Jr. They get Henry Anderson, another defensive lineman. They bring in Hunter Henrys. They get Jalen Mills. Okay, that's a solid safety. Is he starting, though? I didn't see him in the starting lineup. He is second string over Devin McCourty. So, once again, that's some solid depth at the safety position. I can get behind that. Kyle Duggar, I think, was pretty solid as well. What did he do last season? Anything solid? No solid stats. But I think Kyle Duggar, another safety out here, is a real solid piece. And once again, he's a backup safety. So they got some real good depth here. J.C. Jackson, Stephon Gilmore. We know Stephon Gilmore is one of the most talented corners in the league. I'd put him in top 5. I don't think I put him in top 3, but I do put him in top 5. And then J.C. Jackson. Let's see what J.C. Jackson was doing. We've got our favorite website right here, playerprofile.com, where we can see what the corners were doing against the wide receivers on how many yards they gave up and allowed and all that. So let's see, is J.C. Jackson a good second kind of corner to have on a team? So let's bring up J.C. Jackson's kind of stats from last season. What did he do defending the best wide receivers? So here we go. J.C. Jackson against Nelson Aguilar, who's now on the team. 5 of 7 for 72 yards and a pass breakup. A little bit of a burn there. Against Sammy Watkins, 2 of 2 for 16 yards. All right, not terrible. Solid lockup. Tim Patrick, 2 of 4 for 43 yards, 3 pass breakups, and he had a pick, so not bad overall. He had 43 yards, not the best. Against Brandon Ayuk, 1 of 2 for 23 yards, a pass breakup and a pick. That's a pretty good lockup. Against Stephon Diggs, 7 of 11 for 93 yards, and he had a pass breakup and a pick. Not bad overall. Against Marquise Brown of the Ravens, 2 of 5 for 22 yards, a pass breakup and a pick. That's a fantastic day. God dang, J.C. Jackson was balling out last season. That's great. Against Will Fuller, 8 of 11 for 127 yards. That's a burn. That's a big old burn there. Against Christian Kirk, 4 of 7 for 38 yards. And that's not good about Will Fuller because Will Fuller is now on the Dolphins, and you got to face the Dolphins twice a year. So if J.C. Jackson's back on Will Fuller, he's going to get burned again. Christian Kirk, 4 of 7 for 38 yards. That's a good solid lockup. Against Josh Reynolds, 2 of 3 for 20 yards. Solid lockup. Against Mac Hollins, 2 of 4 for 20 yards, a pass breakup and a pick. Good lockup. Against Stephon Diggs, 5 of 9 for 96 yards and a pass breakup. That's a burn. So he actually did pretty solid. I can get behind some of these. Stephon Diggs, I mean, both weeks just absolutely burned him. Not great. So against like the A1 tier 1 wide receivers in this league, he's not the best. But against the the lower tier 1s, the higher tier 2s, I think the man can lock it up. So overall, great defensive backs and great safeties, and that's really what the Patriots are really going to have to heavily rely on. And I'm glad that Kyle Van Noy is back with this team after, getting cut by the Dolphins for no reason at all. So overall, and Dante Hightower's back. I believe he opted out because of the COVID season. So overall, this defense of the Patriots should be kind of back to, the normal Patriots standard level of play because you got coached by Bill Belichick. So overall, this defense for the Patriots is really going to have to kind of be the main force, and Cam Newton and just the overall offense is going to have to be game managers. Alrighty, what else do we get here in their offseason additions? So they get James White back. They bring in Jonnu Smith. They bring in Kendrick Bourne. They bring in Kyle Van Noy. They re-sign Lawrence Guy. They bring in Matthew Judon, an edge rusher. Is he starting? Matt Judon. Yes, he is. All right. What did he do last year? How many sacks did he have last year? 6 sacks. Real solid. All right. So once again, another pass rusher. We know pass rushers win in this league. You got to have a good pass rusher to win. Nelson Aguilar. They bring in Raekwon McMillan, too. Damn, another great linebacker. Is he starting? Oh, did they already get rid? Oh, no. He's on IR. How long is Raekwon McMillan out? Did he just get injured? That's not great. He's a real solid linebacker. I can get behind a Raekwon McMillan. But yeah, I think he did just go down. Yeah, I think he's down for the season. I think I did remember reading that. I think he tore his ACL. Yeah. Oh, man, that's tough. All right. Bad there for Raekwon McMillan. Unfortunate. Torn ACL. And then they bring in a center, Ted Karras. Karras? Is he in the starting lineup? No, so they bring in a little bit of extra depth at the lineman position, at the center position. Not bad. So overall, some real solid bring-ups here, some real solid additions. We just need these kind of wide receivers to really go out and show out, and we just need Cam Newton to be solid, just a game manager. He doesn't even have to be an above-average game manager quarterback like a Ryan Tannehill, like a Baker Mayfield, like a Kirk Cousins. Just go out there and be average-ish and let the defense in the tier 2 pieces take over. All right, who do they lose? They lost Adam Butler, a defensive lineman, Brandon Copeland, a linebacker, Demire Byrd, a wide receiver, Jason McCourty, a cornerback. But we do like we do like their kind of cornerbacks already. So Jason McCourty's not the biggest loss. They lose Tremaine Illuminar, a tackle. They lose Joe Thuney, a guard, and Rex Burkhead, a running back. So not too many big losses there. So overall, the Patriots not terrible overall in their offseason moves. Now let's see what they did in the draft. Get a refresher on what they did in the draft. We know they chose Mac Jones in the first round. And now, what does that tell us? They went and got a quarterback in the first round. They didn't really want to fill any other need besides the quarterback position with their first round pick, which was number 15, which is still a solid pick. So that tells you that Bill Belichick truly feels comfortable with all the additions that they made in the offseason, and they're not the biggest believers in Cam Newton, which is kind of our line of thinking. All right, in the second round, they went out and get a defensive tackle. Third round, they got a defensive end, Ronnie Perkins. Is he in the starting lineup? Where is he on the depth chart? Ronnie Perkins. Defensive end. Ronnie, where art thou? I'm not even seeing Ronnie Perkins on their depth chart. What the hell is up with that? Oh, here he is. All right. He's third string left side linebacker. So we'll see. All right. What else did they get in the draft? So that was their first 3-round picks, showing up their defense and quarterback a little bit. And then, like we said, everything past the third round, you really don't expect to come out and make a year 1 immediate impact. Obviously, there's always exceptions to the rule, but 4th round picks, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round, it's like, all right, now we're just kind of hoping. So here we go, 4th round picks that really don't mean anything. They bring in a running back. 5th round, they get a linebacker. 6th round, 2 6th-round picks to get safety and offensive tackle. In 7th round, they go a wide receiver and Trey Nixon, a 6-foot wide receiver. So overall, they just shored up their defense and quarterback through the first 3 rounds. So first 3-round meaningful picks. Now let's see where this Patriots offensive line ranked. We like to see where the offensive line ranks, because if you don't have a good offensive line, you're not going to be a good team overall. So let's see where PFF. And like we said, we're not taking this as the gospel. We are just taking this as a good benchmark of where the line is at right now. So the final 2020 offensive line rankings, let's see where the Patriots ranked. We're scrolling. Oh, they ranked number 4. Wow. Let's see what they wrote about him. Here we go. You don't expect rookie offensive linemen to come in the NFL and play the way Michael Onwenu did for the Patriots, especially rookie guards who were selected in the 6th round and forced into a starting job at tackle. Jeez. Let's see. Is Michael Onwenu, sorry, butchering the name. Let's see. Is he still in the starting lineup here for the linemen? Yes, Mike Onwenu. Fantastic. All right. So that's going to still be carry over to this year and still be real solid. What else do we get here? That didn't stop Onwenu. Okay, Onwenu. I'll get it right here, folks. All right, that didn't stop Onwenu from slotting in as a top 10 right tackle in the NFL by PFF grade. In addition to strong play on both the left guard and right guard at various points in the season. So he's kind of, can be that kind of duct tape of the offensive line. One person goes down, you can slide him to that spot and be fine. The New England offense didn't have a whole lot of going on for it in 2020, but the offensive line in an area that they can count as a strength on that side of the football, it's a group that could be dealt a big loss in the form of Joe Thuney. However, Thuney ended the season as the 6th highest graded left tackle in the NFL, will be a free agent this offseason, and we do know that Joe Thuney is not there anymore. So that is a little bit of a loss there on the offensive line. All right, so we can expect the offensive line to be good, which it needs to be good for Cam Newton to have protection, and for Damian Harris and Sony Michel that aren't tier 1 running backs in this league to still have a solid rushing performance. All right, the last thing to read over is just another overall offseason grade, this time by Bleacher Report. We just kind of want to see what they're saying about this Patriots team in the offseason. We know they went out and got a lot of pieces. I think they spent the most money in free agency. I think they got the most players in free agency. So let's see what Bleacher Report says about this Patriots team in their offseason additions. So here we go, and just offseason moves in total. So once again, their additions: Jonnu Smith, edge rusher Matthew Judon, David Godchaux, nice defensive tackle, Jalen Mills, Hunter Henry, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, Ted Karras, Kyle Van Noy, Cam Newton, David Andrews, James White, Lawrence Guy, Henry Anderson, and Trent Brown. Really, I mean, a lot of positions: wide receivers, tight ends, edge rushers, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, running backs. I mean, they really just filled up every need there. And then the key drafts: quarterback Mac Jones, defensive lineman Christian Barmore, and edge rusher Ronnie Perkins. And then the key departures: offensive lineman Joe Thuney, defensive tackle Adam Butler, safety Patrick Chung. That's definitely going to hurt them a lot. Patrick Chung's been great for them. Right tackle Marcus Cannon, wide receiver Julian Edelman, and we all know that man. That's great slot piece. And then edge rusher Brandon Copeland. All right, here we go. A couple of paragraphs on the Patriots. Offseason moves. The New England Patriots might have been able to do more to address the quarterback position this offseason, but that's really the only reason they didn't earn an A+ after loading up on both sides of the ball in free agency and the draft. Whether they start Newton or Jones at quarterback, they'll be in a lot better shape with Smith and Henry at tight end and Brown back at right tackle. Will they miss Thuney? Sure, but at least they re-signed Andrews and brought back Karras after a 1-year stint in Miami. Ditto for Kyle Van Noy, who along with Judon, Godchaux, and Anderson should bolster a defense that was already in fine shape. Once again, yeah, exactly. The defense is really going to be the main focal point for this Patriots team. Speaking of that D, Barmore was a steal outside of round 1 and gives them yet another weapon up front and does the intriguing Perkins from round 3. It would have been nice to see them land Stafford or Darnold at quarterback. Not Darnold. Sam Darnold cannot play, folks. I don't know how many times we're going to see it this season. Sam Darnold cannot play. It's over for that man. It's truly done with that man. Like we said with Cam Newton, it's not the greatest yards, and you can make the excuse that he didn't have the right talent around him and all that, but we still need some solid production, and Cam Newton still gave us 65% completion percentage, which we truly respect, and we do like that. Sam Darnold, same thing. Trash coach it. Well, not the same thing with Patriots with the trash coaches, but he had trash coaches, not the best support all around him like Cam Newton and the Patriots, but the man never threw 60% completion percentage in 3 years, so I can't get behind Sam Darnold. The man is not good. Matt Stafford, on the other hand, yeah, that's a great piece right there. All right, so it would have been nice to see them land Stanford or Darnold at the quarterback because Newton is done. But kudos to Bill Belichick and company for bringing in the pro-ready Jones. I don't know if he's pro-ready, especially with tier 2 wide receivers. If they had tier 1 pieces all around him, if they had the Bucs wide receiver core, I would say that, yeah, Mac Jones would be good in this Patriots system. But Mac Jones has not proven that he can play with non-elite great talent. It's not been shown. He had 1 year in college starting. That's it. Devonte Smith, Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris, all first-round picks, high first-round picks in this year's draft. Come on, folks. He looks like a good fit, and that's the icing on the cake for a team that looks primed to contend again in 2021. I don't know if they're offensively primed to contend here. We'll see. So that is the Patriots, folks, but we still got to see what they have on their schedule. Do they have a favorable schedule? Can we get behind this team? Can we count them for 10, 12, 17 wins? What do we got? So let's bring up the Patriots schedule, and let's walk through it and see how many wins we can give them. All right, here we go. Game number 1 against the Miami Dolphins. Should be a real great one here. Great opener. We saw the Patriots beat the Dolphins in the opener last season, and I believe they were at home for that one as well. All right. This Patriots defense is good and should hurt the Dolphins. The Dolphins defense is good and should hurt the Patriots. I'm going to probably give the Patriots the split here against the Dolphins, and we'll have the Patriots win their home game. So they do win week 1 against the Dolphins. They win easy week 2 against the Jets. Zach Wilson against this Patriots defense. Good luck, Zach. Good luck. Welcome to the NFL week 2. That's another win. Then they go out and face the Saints, and I think this is a winnable game as well. They are in Foxborough at home for this game, and the Saints offense is really not going to be able to handle this Patriots defense, and the Saints defense is not that great, and the Patriots offense should be able to at least be competitive in this game, and I'm going to give them a win. Real strong start to the schedule. 3-0. Then they run into the Bucs. Cannot give them a win there. It is Sunday Night Football. Tom Brady back in Foxborough. All that nonsense, but I think Tom Brady rises to the occasion. I cannot trust Cam Newton against this Bucs defense, especially this Bucs defense that knows that Tom Brady desperately wants to win this game, and they're going to kind of step up to the plate for their man that just won them all a ring last year. Yeah, Bucs win this one. Then they go and face the Texans on the road. It doesn't matter. That's a win there. That Texans team is trash. Then they go out and face the Cowboys. I'm not going to give them a win here. I think the Cowboys offense is too much for it. The Cowboys defense probably isn't too good. They are on the road there. That is a probably silver lining for this Patriots team, but I am going to give the Cowboys a win. They'll win. Then they go and face the Jets again. They do sweep the Jets. They go and face the Chargers. This is going to be a real solid, good game right here. I don't know how I want to call this one. I think I'm going to give it to the Chargers. I think the Chargers at home should be real fine, and this offense really should be rolling. Defense is real solid as well. So I'm going to give the Chargers a win there. Then they go and face the Panthers in Carolina. That's a win. I don't like anything on this offensive piece for the Panthers besides Christian McCaffrey, and the defense is just mediocre. It's like lost in the shuffle. So give them a win against the Panthers. Against the Browns, I'm not going to give them a win there. I think this Browns team is really going to be real solid this season. Then they go and face the Falcons on the road. This one's a Thursday night game. This one's going to be interesting. I'm going to give it to... I'm going to give the Patriots a nice upset here on Thursday Night Football. We're not the biggest fans of this Falcons team overall. The defense is the biggest question mark here. I don't know how they're going to do with that, so I'll give the Falcons a win there. Against the Titans, I can't give them a win there. Against the Bills, I can't even let them split against the Bills, folks. I'm not even going to have them split. I'm going to have the Bills win both games here. Then they go and face the Colts in Indianapolis. I can't give them a win there. They face the Bills again. Can't give them a win there. Like I said, I'm not even going to give them the split. Then they go and face the Jaguars. I will give them a win against the Jaguars. And then they face the Dolphins at the end of the season in Miami. Not going to give them a win there because we're giving them the split, and they already won their home game. So we got 8-9 here with this Patriots team. But the good thing is that this is a winnable, workable schedule. There's really no real blowout potential games. The Tampa Bay Bucs is really the only blowout potential game. The Bills, it's division rivalry, so they should be able to contend well and maybe steal a game. Folks, these are winnable games. Every one of these is winnable. Dolphins twice, Jets twice. Those are, the Jets, that's a sweep. But the Dolphins, the Dolphins are solid, and we do like the Dolphins. And the Dolphins, we expect Tua to take that year 2 leap and look really solid, especially with the new offensive pieces that he has. And the Dolphins defense should be able to hold its own throughout the entire season. But still winnable games for the Patriots. Bills, I don't really see winnable games. That's going to be real tough for them. But, Saints, Texans, Cowboys, Chargers, Panthers, Browns, Falcons, Titans, Colts, Jags, all real easy winnable games. So we'll have them at a highly regarded 8-9. Patriots going 8-9. Let me make sure I did that right. 8-9. We had them wins against winning 3 straight there to open up the season. They beat the Texans. They beat the Jets again. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Falcons. And they beat the Jags. That's 8 wins. All right. Yeah, 8-9. Okay. So 8-9. Can see 10+ plus. Okay, now where do we kind of fit this Patriots team into what all these other teams that we've already looked at for? And I think I'm going to put them slightly under the Falcons. We'll have them above the Broncos and above the Saints and above the Lions. But I'm going to have the Falcons above them just because I do believe this Falcons team has an upside. They do have the quarterback right. The Washington football team has a very high winnable ceiling if Ryan Fitzpatrick is kind of not just slinging the ball around and is being like an actual smart quarterback and not turning the ball over. The Titans, they got Derrick Henry and Julio Jones and Ryan Tannehill, an amazing offense. So they just don't have the offensive coordinator anymore. And then the Raiders, I mean, they just have the pieces everywhere. They've got the pieces everywhere offensively, defensively, a little bit of a question mark as well. But overall, I just can't get behind Cam Newton that well. So we're going to move the Patriots down a little bit. We have them at 8-9. Can see 10-plus wins, but winnable schedule, so that's all you can ask for your favorite team heading into the season, but just can't buy into Cam Newton. That's really the only thing that's holding us back on this Patriots team, Cam Newton. Alrighty, so that is our NFL team refresher for today, folks. Patriots, 8-9. We'll see what the wheel has in store for us tomorrow when we run it back and see and refresh on another team.